them against us, haves versus have-nots. I think yes, but it is a collective effort by all of us Kenyans, not for only NCIC, not for NCIC and the media. It is a collective effort by all players, including the citizenry of this country. But the media can touch the nerve of the stakeholders, and so that we all focus on how we can be tolerant, a just society. For us to have a tolerant and just society, I think there are a number of issues that must be put right. This country must have proper law and order. We must practice that culture of respecting our law, and that nobody is above the law. Having less law and order in this country has created a lot of problems for us, and that really propels us not to be tolerant and not to be just. We need to have proper governance system in this country so that we are all comfortable as citizens of this country. The problem we do not tolerate one another is because our governance system, our democratic space has faults. For example, we don't have a proper democratic system in this country. One good example that always comes up is, do we have democratic parties in this country? Are there parties that we can call parties in this country? Are there political parties? We don't. We have parties that are informed by ethnic inclinations, which are used for political short-term bridges and dismantled after the elections. And so we don't nurture our democratic space, and this has a lot of great effect on our tolerance and just society. That puts us against them, against us, have and have-nots. We also lack strong institutions to propel this country to a tolerant and just society. Our institutions, I mean, the 2010 Constitution really tried to make sure that we have strong institutions, but the political class has downplayed the space of those institutions. Most of them politicized. Institutions that would have been independent to nurture a tolerant and just society have become biased towards some political inclinations. And therefore, with all these things around, it has dented our tolerance and justice system. And so if we rectify all these things, I think we can have a just and tolerant society in Kenya. I ask a question. Why do we want always one of us to become the president? It's because we want to have that time to eat, our time to eat. But if our systems worked well, it will not have mattered who becomes the president of this country, for example. If there was justice, if there was equity, if resources were distributed equitably, I will not mind who becomes the president of this country. But because we are biased in even resource allocation, and that I will not get tarmac roads in my place if I don't have the presidency, then I will not tolerate you because you have marginalized me. You are not just to me, you are not equitable, and and so on and so forth. So I think if we correct all these parameters, we will be able to have and live in a tolerant and just a society. I think Killian was on my neck. Just to ask a repetitive question: cohesion, integration, reconciliation, and peaceful society is a process. We must be, and it must be owned by all Kenyans. All must feel we need to change our narrative. So we must all feel that we need to change. How can the Editors Guild or the media participate in this process? Because it's the whole process. The previous speakers also alluded to this, but this is a process. How will you participate in this process? Number two, out of the 1,000 good things that are said or done, media picks a very less weighty issue. Why is it the case? I'll give you an example. We had a robust and well done process in Mandera, where we had the mediation between the Garre and the Morule. We got a sheikh who is an arbitrator, who gave some resolutions to be done, and the resolutions were good, and that's why we have relative peace in Mandera now. Out of all the things we said, the media picked an award that was given to a lady who was raped. That is what has been circulating in the media for a whole week. How does that help in the reconciliation and integration process if you are not reporting all the good things that the Sheikh has put on the table for those communities to do and government to do? It is, you've left all the good things that Kenyans will have had, that were done to make that world peaceful. And you didn't even inquire what was the idea behind the 60,000 shillings for that lady. But it was blown out of context, and it became, a discussion for a whole week. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.